Hello, my name is Dr. Matt Hoven. I'm a professor of St. Joseph's College at the University of Alberta. Today, in our short segment, we're going to talk about freedom in sports and how that might relate to spirituality. In particular, we're going to look at a biblical passage. The passage I'm just going to speak of briefly is the story of the rich man who comes to Jesus, wants to inherit eternal life, and he's done all the things according to the law, and Jesus tells him, you must go and do one more thing. You must sell all your possessions. And the rich man turns away because he can't follow Jesus, even though Jesus spoke to him lovingly. Now, the importance of this for us in terms of playing sports, and it gives us a sense about what freedom is. And there's an important distinction here in theological terms. So the first one is, there's two ways how we might look at freedom. The first way is the way of the rich man in the story, where it's in terms of the choices that you have. Freedom is just having lots of options, the quantity of your choices. So in terms of where we might think of for swimming is that you might think, hey, I'm a great swimmer. What club team am I going to play on? I want to advance in my athletic career. What can I do? So you set it up that you have all these choices. Ultimately, though, you have to make one choice, but maybe you have some backup plan in case that falls through, or you realize that if you stick with one team just for a little bit, well, more options are going to open up. All right? So that's a sense of freedom just in terms of the quantity and the number of choices that we have. Now, the other way that we can look at freedom is in terms of the quality, all right? The quality of it. So something like we might savor our freedom, all right? So freedom is actually understood in this term as having either a worse or a better quality. Okay, so as a rich man thought of many choices, that's all it was about. Jesus is speaking about the quality of your freedom. An example might be in swimming is that, man, you wake up in the morning at 5 a.m., you want to get to the pool at 6. You don't really feel like going, but you know that if you're going to be a better swimmer, that's what it's going to take. So you go to train, you practice after school, you do all the right things with your diet, sleeping, in order to become a better swimmer. And then when the meet comes, you get a personal best, or maybe you get the school record. And because of that, you have, in a sense, you feel freer. You feel like you feel you are going faster through the water, and there's a sense of satisfaction. You feel freer in what you do because you've put in all the effort. You've limited your options, but because you've chosen the one thing, you have greater freedom within that. Just like if you choose a musical instrument, or if you learn to speak Spanish, learning a foreign language, if you do these things, you have greater freedom. You can go to Spain, you can go wherever, and to speak Spanish, you have greater freedom in that. So that's what Jesus is talking about. In this man, if the rich man could say that he could give up his possessions, he would be freer because he's holding on to his possessions. He won't let go. He doesn't have that sense of a qualitative sense of freedom. He wants all of his options. But the gospel is telling us freedom, there's a qualitative sense to it, a greater value to it in that way. So, in our own sporting endeavors, we can try to build up the habit of a qualitative sense of freedom. That is, we can try to do what's good, and we use our abilities to the best, and over time we become freer. We become better at whatever sport it is, whether it be swimming, volleyball, track and field, whatever it is, we become freer within that sport because of our tough decisions we make, but there's a real gift that comes from it. All right, that's enough for me. We'll see you in the next segment.